Good afternoon and welcome to Pakistan Today News from our New York studio. I'm Chris Taylor. We begin in the Middle East, where Israel has moved thousands of troops across the border into Lebanon, in what appears to be a major escalation of the ongoing conflict. Israeli forces are reportedly aiming to seize control of all territory south of the Litani River. Clashes are intensifying, with Hezbollah fighters engaging Israeli troops directly in southern villages. The situation on the ground remains volatile, with fears growing of a broader regional confrontation as both sides continue to exchange heavy fire. Turning now to diplomatic developments, U.S. President Donald Trump has extended a deadline for potential strikes on Iran's energy infrastructure by 10 days. The move comes amid what he described as indirect peace talks with Tehran, facilitated through Pakistan, which he says are going very well. However, Iranian officials have publicly denied that any negotiations are taking place, maintaining a firm stance against U.S. pressure. The conflicting narratives have added uncertainty to an already tense geopolitical landscape. To bring more on this diplomatic effort, we go to our correspondent Sarah William in Islamabad. Sarah, what's the latest?
Thank you, Chris. Officials here in Islamabad are maintaining a cautious tone as Pakistan continues to play a behind-the-scenes role in facilitating communication between Washington and Tehran. While U.S. President Donald Trump has expressed optimism about the progress of indirect talks, Pakistani authorities have not publicly confirmed the specifics of these discussions. Analysts suggest that Pakistan's involvement reflects its strategic position and long-standing ties with both nations. However, with Iran denying any formal negotiations, the path to de-escalation remains uncertain. Back to you.
Thank you, Sarah, for that update. In other developments, the cyber front of the conflict is also intensifying. The group known as the Handala Hack Team has claimed responsibility for hacking the personal email account of FBI Director Kash Patel. The breach reportedly exposed private photos and sensitive correspondence, raising serious concerns about cybersecurity and the vulnerability of high-level officials. Experts warn that such incidents highlight the growing role of cyber warfare in modern conflicts. Meanwhile, U.S. Central Command has confirmed that more than 300 American service members have been wounded since the start of the war on February 28th. While the majority of injuries are described as minor, officials report that 13 soldiers have been killed in operations across the Gulf and Iraq. The figures underscore the human cost of the ongoing conflict, even as military operations continue across multiple fronts. The International Atomic Energy Agency has also issued an urgent appeal for restraint following recent U.S.-Israeli strikes on Iranian nuclear-related facilities. Targets included a uranium processing site in Ardakan and a heavy water reactor in Kondab. Iranian authorities have stated that no radioactive leaks have occurred, but the IAEA has warned that continued attacks on such facilities could pose serious risks to regional and global safety. In a rare humanitarian development, Iran's envoy to the United Nations has announced that Tehran will facilitate and expedite the passage of food and medical aid through the Strait of Hormuz. This comes despite the waterway being closed to what Iran describes as enemy vessels. The move is being seen as an attempt to ease humanitarian pressures, even as tensions remain high. Finally, global markets are feeling the strain of the crisis. Stock markets have experienced what analysts describe as a convulsing period, while oil prices remain highly volatile. A sharp 70% drop in Iraqi oil exports has further disrupted supply, raising concerns about a deepening energy crisis, particularly in Europe. Experts warn that if the closure of the Strait of Hormuz continues, the economic impact could intensify significantly in the weeks ahead. That's all for now. You're watching Pakistan Today News. I'm Chris Taylor.